Hi, BAC listeners. Thank you for tuning in. This is part 2 with Amanda Ferraro. If you missed part 1, please be sure to listen to that one before continuing with this podcast. Thanks. So I have like 10 questions, but I want to kind of go a little bit backwards into SMS and stuff. And so when I first started, I never learned anything really about SMS at all. Then we moved into doing some prats with some numbers. And now I've gone through a couple of ISBEO audits, 1, 2, and 3, as well as BASC audits as well. Can you talk a little bit about, I think, and you think, we talked about this before, the lack of training in the student pilot sector?
Yeah, there's a massive misunderstanding and lack of understanding in safety management in general. But particularly where we have students coming into flight training, they're running frats, most of them, but they don't have all the components of an SMS stood up appropriately. And they're not getting introduced to safety management systems in the right way. And what we need to do is we need to start young, right? We need to start early and start them out in their career that this is just a part of your flying. And this is baked into your flight training as when you see a hazard on the ramp, you're going to report it. When you see not only a hazard, but when it's even a proactive hazard, like somebody could get hurt, but nobody's gotten hurt yet, you're going to report it. Mm-hmm. And participating in safety and being an advocate of safety. So it's so critical because eventually flight schools that hold operating certificates as part of the FAA will be required to have an SMS too.
Sure. That's good. I guess that's really good going forward that's going to happen so we can start laying more foundation for the new pilots coming into the industry.
So Lindsay, one of the things that the FAA believes is that SMS is a system. It lives in the aviation environment within the network of the aviation operating environment. And the airport rule for 139 airports, which are airports that have airline service coming in and out of them, with so many operations per year, we're required to have an SMS. And a part of that is the central hub of aviation activity. All of your flight operations exist, departments, flight departments and flight organizations, the airlines are there. You have the flight schools there, air traffic control is there, and they themselves as an airport are an entity. And the FAA believes that within SMS and safety management, there's interfacing. And so being able to interface with those external parties as a part of your safety management system to take your mitigations and your lessons learned and to be able to collaborate together on that and run that through your system and monitor that. So when you look at how this is going to evolve, I think over the next 10 years, SMS is going to become a very normalized part of our industry to include everything from flight schools to airport operations, air traffic control, the airlines, 135 charter operators, your maintenance organization. Everyone's going to have a safety manager. Everyone's going to have SMS, and everyone's going to understand that they have to mitigate risk and work together collaboratively to try to reduce risk over time within the aviation operating environment.
That's awesome. I love it. I mean, aviation just keeps getting better and better. You start off, you make a mistake, and you fix it. And I think this is a huge step forward in making everybody safer.
I completely agree. When you look at the opportunities where flight schools are going to be required to implement an SMS, starting at the most elementary pieces of most pilots' careers or individuals' careers, even the 145 repair stations, when you start there at those schools and in those educational areas, and it just infiltrates through the system. And so I think in the next 10 to 15 years, what we're going to see is, my hope as a safety expert, is we see a substantial reduction in accidents if we do SMS right. We're a little off tilt right now. Most organizations are still running frats, don't really have a good, solid understanding of why am I doing all this paperwork? Why am I filling all this stuff out? They don't understand that. And part of that is because I've had the opportunity to work in the 121 world. When you start to get into the predictive side of SMS and you can start to predict your next event and you can mitigate it before it happens, that is where the money lies in safety management systems and why organizations have taken the time to do this over the last 20 years. We're not fully there yet because our software systems and the things that we have and how we run our SMS have not graduated to that level.
Okay.
Or are not accessible to us in business aviation.
Yep.
Okay. If you look at the airlines, Lindsay, this is the most amazing thing. I was at the SMS forum for the airlines back in the springtime, was asked to speak. And one of the speakers there had a demonstration of an AI video camera installed in the rail.
Okay.
And the camera was monitoring normal activities, and then it would identify when an airplane was in an abnormal state. And it was data tracking. So like if the fuel truck got too close to the aircraft, or if they pulled the lav cart up and the door remained open, it would actually identify that door remaining open. And it was tracking hazards like that in the background. And what they're trying to figure out right now is how to connect the human in the moment to the AI video camera to help stop and halt the operation before it becomes an event.
That is so cool.
They're moving into predictive SMS very quickly.
Which
is
so
super exciting.
Yeah, it is. I didn't even know that stuff existed.
Yeah, it's new technology. Some of the airlines have it, and it's not widely disseminated, but I do believe with time, this is something that's coming to our organizations and flight departments.
So we could even expect or think in the next couple of years, you could purchase as a flight department some type of a video camera and program that to alert maybe dispatch or something who could disseminate that information to the crew or however it goes fastest.
Yeah. Absolutely. Both in the hangar and on the ramp space is where it's being tested today in some of the 121 air carriers. And it's got super promising results because it is a real-time identification of hazard identification. So I think that's the really neat part of it is when you look at what's coming down the road for us, my hope is that we become predictive, because right now our accident rate this year has gone through the roof, unfortunately, for fail accidents.
Okay.
And we need to start reeling that back in, and we need to start making SMS and safety management work for operators that have invested all this time, energy, and money into it.
Oh my gosh. What a cool new, just new things that are being created. I wonder if you could talk just a little bit about how does the scheduling and dispatch department kind of play into all of this? Because a lot of our listeners are from that department. How do we help, or how do we participate?
Absolutely. So some of my organizations have their scheduler dispatchers actually running the SMS as a safety manager, because they're on the front line. They're on the very front edge of scheduling. So when they're scheduling those aircraft, they're already making decisions like, well, we can't leave at this time, and we're going to try to leave a little bit later. So we're going to mitigate that. They can sometimes be perfectly positioned to be the safety manager. They're the ones that are home. They're not out flying the aircraft. They understand the operation. They're connected to everybody in the operation. They're the central hub of the organization. And in my opinion, those organizations that have taken that under and have allowed their scheduler dispatchers to go get trained, become a safety manager, and help manage the SMS, those SMS programs are super strong, and it's through a different lens, which is really great. One of the things that I'll tell you, Lindsay, about SMS that most flight departments and organizations don't recognize or understand, the safety manager is supposed to be a mentor. They're supposed to be a facilitator of the SMS. They're not supposed to be the SMS.
Okay.
But the managers in the organization are supposed to be your safety matter experts, and they're supposed to be conducting the risk assessments of the hazard reports coming in or the hazards that are being identified, and they're supposed to help come up with mitigation. So it doesn't matter if you're a pilot, it doesn't matter if you're a mechanic, and it doesn't matter if you're a scheduler dispatcher being the safety manager. You're supposed to there to be the mentor, to facilitate, to help kind of steer the boat. But your safety matter experts, which are your managers in the functional groups, are the ones that are actually supposed to be doing the risk assessments and monitoring mitigation and doing follow-up to that. So we do fundamentally have it a little off in our industry, because most organizations, the safety manager is the SMS, right? That's fairly consistent with most organizations. But the FAA has a different vision on that. And I would agree with them. I like that because it engages everybody and all the stakeholders in the operation.
Yep. Because it's really not supposed to be just a box that you're checking. It's supposed to be a lifestyle, a part of what happens to you even before you get to the hangar.
Absolutely. So scheduler dispatchers are wonderful. They have such a different lens on the front side. They are wonderful people. They get to deal with all the different aspects of the flight department and have a really good handle on each department and what's going on. They also are involved in the emergency response plan right away.
Yes.
Usually they're the ones that get the call. So, when you look at safety management and the role that the scheduler dispatcher plays, it's a pivotal role. And in some organizations, if they're listening to this, should consider that their scheduler dispatcher could potentially be their safety manager and take some of that load off of the pilot or the mechanic that's managing that program.
Definitely. And if there's any scheduler dispatchers listening, go ask your department to be part of it. At least be part of the committee. I mean, maybe you're not the manager, but you could be part of a committee. Or if you're a small flight department, be that safety manager. That's awesome. Yeah, I always like any place where the scheduler dispatcher role can go out and excel and just learn more and be more a part of the conversation.
Absolutely. There's so many opportunities within safety and SMS and the standing up of the emergency response plan to gain valuable knowledge and volunteer. One of the things that I preach is the opportunity to not only have your safety manager, but organizations should have someone following that safety manager. Because what happens when they leave? What happens when they retire? Having somebody that also, in addition to the safety manager, that has the knowledge, expertise, and knows how the system runs is critical to continuing the cycle of pushing that program forward and keeping it alive in an organization.
Definitely a continuity plan. Yep. You don't want to skip a beat in safety if somebody leaves and goes to a different organization.
I will tell you, Lindsay, that a lot of organizations are like, no, we don't want an audit in the middle of maybe we're doing change management and things are kind of chaotic, but let's get real. Isn't that the time you really want the audit as a leadership person?
Right.
If it was me, I would want the audit right at the most chaotic time, because that's when your attention is turned to something else and maybe you're really not monitoring your safety all that well and really have a good pulse on it for risk.
That's a very good point. Yeah, very good point. Excellent. Now, Amanda, you have done technically over 10 years with your business right now, right? You're almost at 11 years.
Yes. I started the business when I went on to become an auditor.
Okay.
With the expectation of honestly just of being an auditor. And we have grown so much more than me just being an auditor. We have 30 employees and team members.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that is so great.
Yes. And most of our team is actually female aviators and make up, I would say, approximately 80% of our team.
So cool. I love that, being a similarly situated women-owned and managed company. We're only at 16 people, but we don't see a lot of that in business aviation. Not a lot of women-owned and run companies.
Yes. I will tell you that our industry has supported my business and our employees, and very appreciative for the support that we've received through the years. And I know that our clients have received substantial feedback and improvements as part of the work that we do, because I don't do anything less than first class. That is probably fairly consistent with my life.
I would guess so. Yep. I would expect nothing less. So maybe tell our listeners, what does Aviation Safety Solutions, what do you do? I mean, obviously audits, but what else do you guys do?
And we have 3 pillars at Aviation Safety Solutions. We do auditing, consulting, and training.
Okay.
So auditing, we do ISBAO audits. We help prepare for Wyvern Argus industry standard setting audits, or we do custom or specialized audits for organizations.
Okay.
On the consulting side, we help operators. We have a safety assistance program. So if organizations want to have a safety coach and work alongside of a safety expert to help get them prepared for FAA Part 5, implement an SMS, or work through the standard setting organizations and obtain registration in one of those, we have an annual subscription program where we assign a safety coach to the operator and we enhance their safety program and monitor them for safety throughout the year. We also do customized consulting projects. So we are starting a project now where we're going to be doing a customized flight attendant manual for the industry for our client.
Okay.
And we're also doing a 121 airline audit coming up with my team. So I'm going to take a team of 5. So it'll be quite a large team, but
yeah.
And then on the training side, we offer an online training program as well as in classroom, the FAA SMS workshop for organizations that need to send their people to get to understand what is the FAA expecting, how do we implement it.
Mm-hmm.
We've had ICAO SMS for so long. How do we bridge the gaps and combine both of those together? Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to just comply with one. If you're flying outside the United States, you actually need to comply with both.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
So, and then we have a bunch of other products online. Internal audit checklist. That's one of the latest product lines we've come out with. We have 10 internal audit checklists that will help operators. That's something that I've found in our industry that's lacking substantially is internal audit programs. Mm-hmm. So we're in pursuit, and my team is in pursuit of helping operators really bring home products where they can use in their own organization and make it easier. Mm-hmm. So within our FAA SMS workshop, Lindsay, the workbook that we have, literally, you can walk away from that course and you will have everything that you need to stand up an SMS when you get home.
Wow. That's awesome. Way a little bit different than when you came home to John Deere with your class.
That's not a clue.
Oh,
fake it till you make it, right, Lindsay?
There you go. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Or fake it till you figure it out.
Right? Yeah, because you'll eventually learn it. You have it figured out, obviously. I mean, big company. Great information that you're sharing with your clients and your people that you work with. What is it like being an entrepreneur in aviation and just creating a whole business? How did you even go from 0 to 30 employees?
I have no idea.
You stay busy, I bet.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a passion for safety. Mm-hmm. I knew that back at John Deere, I would walk around and think to myself, what does this stuff mean? I don't understand safety, SMS in our industry. So it's so stupid. I would walk around thinking to myself, this is so stupid. Why are we doing this stuff? There's no value. Why are we filling out a safety risk profile? Why are we filling out this stuff, but there's no value add? And Lindsay, I'll be honest with you. I have completely, for the last 20 years, I would lay in bed completely thinking about, why do we have to fill out a safety risk profile and it sits in our manual for 15 years and we never look at it, we never change it? It's because we're doing it wrong. A safety risk profile is meant to be tracking current hazards and be a part of this predictive piece of SMS. Mm-hmm. It's not meant to just fill it out once and leave it sit in your manual for 15 years and never look at it. It's actually a cornerstone development of your safety management program in monitoring current hazards and knowing what their risk is in the current environment. And it's things like that when you start to learn how these pieces all connect holistically, safety management systems start to make a lot of sense, but we as an industry have not made sense of that yet. And I believe that in the next chapter of SMS, as I teach our industry and as I demonstrate how this can be so valuable, that we will see a reduction of accidents through predictive measures and through safety management systems. Absolutely.
That's awesome. And what a way to give back. I mean, just one accident averted, it would be spectacular. I mean, that would be a culmination of anybody's careers to help with that. You are an inspiration to me. I just think that's so cool what you've done in the last it's really been just a few years since you went fully into it. 4 years.
Yeah. Yes,
and
absolutely.
Such a needed section of this industry as well. Can I touch on just a little tiny piece too of I want to say caregiver part of it. So during all of this, you're flying, you're going away for months at a time, doing training. Yep. You're busy. You also have children in the background. And this is something that I'd like to talk about because I think those of us who do caregiving, we have to find ideas outside the box in order to be successful. Is that maybe the right word? Or to succeed and go far?
Yes.
Any words of wisdom maybe for other caregivers out there?
Absolutely. I always knew that I wanted to have children in this career. I set out in this career knowing that I wanted to have a family and knowing it was going to be a challenge, but also knowing that my children would, one, think their mom is pretty cool being a pilot, right?
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
And now a successful business owner. But I think what's really cool about being in aviation and being a caregiver and being a mom specifically is that my children have had the opportunity to understand that, my career is really important to me, and that even though I'm not home taking care of them, that all of their needs are being met either by my husband or they're being met by a caregiver. Early in our years, we had nannies and babysitters and family and neighbors that all pitched in to be that cornerstone for our children when I wasn't able to be there. And the kids now see my business has grown in the last handful of years. And, I would tell you that my daughter, who's now 13, she's in 8th grade. She's in that cool phase of life. And where most parents are uncool when you're in 8th grade and just starting to get into high school, I'm so cool to her. So I think that's kind of a neat
win.
That's for sure. It is. And her friends think I'm cool. So I'm not just another parent, but to the kids, I'm a mentor to those kids as well. And we have a horse farm, so we make our kids work. We believe in hard work. We believe that not living on video games and iPads is it's not the way of the future, being TikTokers, although you could aspire to be that. But I want my children to reach far beyond that. There is a piece that I haven't really talked about much, which is I have a technology side of our business. And I can't talk about it too awfully much other than what I'll say is that I have a technology team that is working in the autonomous vehicle space to help deploy those vehicles safely in our industry, consistent with airline level safety standards. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been exciting. It's been, for me, in the last couple of years, some of the best work that my brain has produced in the safety side of the house. And it allows me to see safety maybe in a little bit different lens than in aviation.
Sure.
And apply predictive safety differently in how we're doing it currently. And I'm very, very fortunate for that opportunity to be in that space. And it's been an incredible relationship. And so my kids think that that's probably one of the coolest things about their mom is that having a hand in that technology to know that we are an integral part of getting those vehicles out on the road safely and things that are future coming to the public.
Oh, that is so cool. And I think that owning your own company, being part of a small entrepreneurial company allows you to go after some of these really cool ideas. That's part of why I love entrepreneurship in general. It's like you see an idea that looks exciting and you want to try it out and you can just go for it. I love that part of owning a business.
One of the things, Lindsay, that I haven't talked about is my team. And I have one of the most incredible teams out there. They are dynamic. They are in their own rights, incredible individuals in our industry, crazy talented. And I would not be here if it wasn't for my team. And so I give a lot of this credit. Yes, I started the business. Yes, I lead our industry. But on the backside of all this, I have an incredible team that picks up all the pieces and just runs with it. And our group we do not have one bad person in our group. I love them all. And they are really an incredible inspiration for our industry. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Wow, likewise. I know. I'm going to keep an eye out there. And oh my gosh, I'm just so excited to see what you guys are going to produce and change.
Yes, it's going to be fun. And our industry, they better hold on because I tell you what, I'm not done. I still have a long ways left in this industry to go. And it's so exciting. I mean, we're on the cusp of so many wonderful things in safety and the predictive side of SMS and being able to really unlock what we started out to do back 20 years ago. We are ready for that next chapter. It's very exciting.
Very exciting. Well, I really cannot wait to see all of what you guys are going to do. Amanda, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, maybe just chat with you or check out what your company can do for them, where would they find you? How would they get in touch?
Absolutely. So we have a website. It's avsafetysolutions.com.
Okay.
I have email. It's amanda@avsafetysolutions.com.
Okay.
Also, I have a LinkedIn. They're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn.
Great.
And my phone number is also listed on the website, and it's my phone number only. So, I think it's really important that I am the front face of our company. And if anyone wants to reach out, that they can come directly to me and I'm accessible for them.
That's wonderful. So cool. We'll pop those in the details as well at the bottom. And Amanda, what an inspirational chat we've had today. Thank you so much for your time. It's really been wonderful. And I learned a ton on this one. I appreciate that. This is a section that I don't know a lot of the rules or regulations on. So wonderful learning process for me as well.
Awesome. That's what I'm all about, Lindsay, is trying to educate and help individuals in our industry understand where we're at and where we need to head, right?
Brilliant. Awesome. Well, I hope it'd be all right if I reached out to you again, maybe, and chat some more about what you've done in changing the industry.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be with you today, and I look forward to hearing from you again. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you for listening. Please stay tuned for more episodes and check out our website for up-and-coming podcasts. This has been a production of the Business Aviation Collective, sponsored by LD Aviation.